Peace, family. Halito, I see I got more people on the line now than I ever had on any show. And I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of the Yah's Real Hour with Brother Dawaj, your host. I'll be sharing the link so people that want to come on and add your commentary to this particular show, I'm giving you the opportunity to do so when I share the link. I'm not going to play none of my music tonight. I want to get right down into this show. Now, I told people to cancel R. Kelly long time ago. I don't know how we allow a man to piss on one of our 14-year-old daughters, and we still support that man. I don't understand that type of logic. I've had deep conversations with a few female relatives of my own, and I couldn't believe their stand with R. Kelly. Knowing that many women, when they were younger, were touched in a similar manner, and growing up in a traumatic way from such behaviors from a grown man, I just don't understand how they could side with the Pied Piper of R&B. Peace to everybody in the chat. Balik Aja, number 1, Yolanda Irving, Cherokee Tulu 1111, and AI X. I see y'all in the chat. Peace to all of you. Halito. You know, I think that child molestation that runs rampant through our community is one of our greatest downfalls. Right up there, right next to abortion. You know, abortion is the number 1 killer among our people. It's not so-called black-on-black crime that they put in the news that involves guns, knives. It's the gun and the knife of the paleface at Planned Parenthood that's killing and murdering more of us than any gun when a young man shoots lead into the body of another or stabs. But Planned Parenthood wouldn't be able to get to our babies to murder them if we didn't have a mentality that allows such. Women have allowed their bodies to become cemeteries for their babies. They go all across state, 2 or 3 states over, just to murder a baby because they don't want it to be found out in the particular city they live in. And it's not always because the man has been physically beating them or is a so-called deadbeat or they don't feel like he's going to be around. Sometimes it's just because of whatever the mother feels. May be angry with the man. He may have found somebody other than her own insecurities, her not wanting any children at that time because she may be pursuing a so-called career. Various reasons. But there are some trifling men, I'm not going to let men off the hook, some trifling men who will pay sisters, give them the money to go and kill their baby. But that's the number 1 killer among us. And all those men that do that, I totally disagree with. If you want to kill your baby, you probably shouldn't be having no type of intercourse with no woman. You don't even deserve a woman, as far as I'm concerned. Put your penis up. You ain't ready to use it. Use a killer. And then the children that we let it come through the womb, many of them are molested. After they make it through the 9 months or 7 months as a preemie or 8 months as a preemie, our mentality is so twisted that sometimes you have men, plenty of men in our neighborhoods that touch little girls. That's what I want to talk about tonight. It's the perfect time to do it. We got Polite going on his IG page, basically giving his farewell speech, talking about he's done all he needs to do. He's accomplished all he wants to accomplish at 38. His wives are millionaires. His children are on their way to be millionaires. He's talking like he's about to make an exit. Talking like a guilty man. Talking like a man that did take a young 14-year-old girl to a hotel and drugged her and tried to revive her and resuscitate her. That's how it sounded to me. And with his character, when I met him, and with his character that I've seen since I met him years ago in Chicago in the Wild Hundreds at a store he was supposed to open that never materialized because the brethren in the neighborhood told him, we don't want you around here with that nonsense. They even told me don't deal with him. I didn't know much about him like that. But some of them street tribe brothers in Chicago gave me the heads up and said he was a foul type cat. Don't deal with him because he's not on the same thing you on, brother. That was the only time I ever met Polite. I've seen him in some shiesty deals as far as business-wise goes. So I know he's dishonest. That I do know. And he sounds like a man that's guilty to me. And R. Kelly, we should have left R. Kelly alone when he peed on a young 14-year-old. But again, back to the mentality of our men and women out here caping for our Smelly. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Our Smelly Kellz, like it shared his video family, came out as the Pied Piper of R&B. Now, we should look up the story of the Pied Piper. We should look into that. Because that right there was a starting point of what should have been the finish of R. Kelly among our people. Let's look into it. Let me share my screen.
The Pied Piper of Hamelin, a story used by parents to scare naughty children. That's all, right? What if I told you that this folktale is based on a real event? The rat catcher that charmed the children of Hamelin and took them away was apparently a real person, and the story is based on a real event. Hello, and welcome to 7 Facts. In case you don't know it, this is roughly how the story goes. The people of Hamelin in Lower Saxony were desperate. Their homes and streets were full of rats, and they couldn't get rid of them, no matter how hard they tried. Then a stranger appeared in town who promised to lure away all the rats in exchange for some payment, of course. The locals gladly accepted the deal, so the pied-dressed man, pied means multicolored, went to work. He took out his magic pipe and started to sing. Charmed by the spell of the music, the rats followed the piper all the way to the river, in which they all entered and drowned. Now it was time for payment, but the mayor of Hamlin refused. So in revenge, the piper took out his magic pipe and sang again. But this time, it was the children that followed him. He led them all away and were never seen again. This is one of the darkest tales in European folklore that's been also picked up by the Brothers Grimm. The morals of the story, the consequences of deception, ingratitude, and revenge are disturbing to say the least. This isn't one of those "and they lived happily ever after" stories. But it isn't a story either. Something terribly wrong happened in the Middle Ages in this small German town, and there are historical documents that attest it. We know that something happened, and we know when, but we don't really know what. The date of the event was inscribed on the stained glass of a church that's since been destroyed. The glass showed the piper, and these words were written on it. In the year 1284, on the day of Saints John and Paul, on June 26, 130 children born in Hamlin were led away by a piper clothed in many colors to their Calvary near the domed hill and lost. The official documents of the town also added a chilling detail. After 1351, all the events in Hamlin were dated in the years since our children's departure. In the Lüneburg manuscript of 1440, the Pied Piper was once again mentioned. So what the hell happened here? Before we continue, I'd like to ask you one thing. This channel has no sponsors, so if you enjoy the content I make, please consider supporting these videos by becoming a patron. You can check out my Patreon page by clicking here or find the link in the description. Okay, now we can move on to the next fact. In the Middle Ages, pipers were often hired to open local festivities. It's no coincidence that the Pied Piper of the story was hired by the mayor. The description of the piper leading away the rats from the town might have been a case where the hired piper played such an act. The multicolored clothing is also real. At the time, inferior citizens like entertainers, buffoons, or executioners wore such colored clothes to signify their lower status. Pipers were, for some reason, especially despised. They were considered to be lazy, vagrants, and even dangerous. In some places, they weren't even allowed in churches. So this part of the story pretty much adds up. What about the rest? To be honest, the part of the story with the rats being lured away was added later. This wasn't mentioned in previous versions before the 16th century. However, viewed through the eyes of a medieval citizen, this addition is not that out of its place. Because, you see, these were the times of the Black Death. The plague epidemics were ravaging the continent, so the connection between the appearance of a troublemaker piper and the appearance of the terrible disease was probably made in this context. But this version of the story appeared only after 1556, when the piper was described as a rat catcher, and the Brothers Grimm later tied this to the disappearance of the children. Okay, but we still haven't answered the big question. What the hell happened to the children? Some believe that this also has to do with the plague. The town could have been under quarantine, and the children might have been taken out of Hamlin for safety. Others believe that these children could have joined the Children's Crusade of 1212, a failed attempt of a crusade against the Muslims. In this quote-unquote crusade, thousands of children were convinced to join, but most died on the way, or more often were taken to be sold as slaves. But this doesn't explain why this story is so deeply connected to Hamlin and no other place. There is also another hypothesis. Many citizens of Hamlin may have been persuaded to move to Brandenburg for colonization. There or indeed family names that are similar or exact to those typically found in Hamelin. And in the 13th century, German city dwellers were nicknamed children of the cities. So this could be a story about the separation of a community. Interestingly enough, there is a similar folk story in Brandenburg too, about a piper whose music charmed children. The fact of the matter is that we don't know. All we have is the chilling story about the disappearance of 130 children. It could have been a disease, an accident, or a terrible crime. We have historical documents that attest this strange event, but no documents that explain what had happened. But the event must have been impactful. More than 700 years later, the people of Hamelin still remember it and blame it all on the Pied Piper. I hope this video was interesting enough to have inspired you to look into it further.
Now, that story was taken from Germany, the land of many germs. When he picked that title, that's when I believe it should have been the beginning of the end of our relationship with R. Kelly. Because all it took is a little bit of research to find out what story it is, what the story entails. It talked about rats. Well, this may be far-fetched, but we have something in the hood. We got physical rats, but at the same time, there was what we called ourselves hood rats. Again, let me say that again. We had rats, and still do, or mice in our neighborhoods, but we also have a physical being in the form of young ladies that have been called hood rats for years. It said that they don't know what happened to the children, but 130 of them went missing. Some of them were sold into slavery. Well, according to what they say, R. Kelly had sex slaves, but it didn't look like they were caged up. The cage was here. See, the fact that R. Kelly looked good to so many women and he can sing, they overlooked the fact that he said he was the Pied Piper, which should have alarmed them because some stories say the Pied Piper was a child molester. He couldn't get paid by the nobles that hired him, and then turned his anger on the children and led them astray. And he wore colorful clothes. You know, R. Kelly been seen in some very colorful things, always dressing up to try to seem like he's younger than he is, to attract who? The youth, evidently. I used to live in Chicago. And I hear that on Dearborn, not too far from downtown, on the north side, there's a McDonald's that he used to always be at, waiting on young girls. That's well known, they say, in the city of Chicago. And that McDonald's is right down the street from a club called Excalibur. I've been over there, seen it many times. Used to live over the north side. And I have an ex-wife who had a sister, who has a sister, that said that her husband used to be a sound engineer, or was a sound engineer. And when R. Kelly used to do his shows, he was picked to do the engineering, or one of the ones picked. I don't know how it works, if there's one or several. But anyway, he was on the set, and he stated that R. Kelly had a hygiene problem. You know damn well them Germans stank. I mean, I'm just putting the character together. A filthy, stinking character. I'm pretty sure the Pied Piper wasn't smelling like roses in Germany, the land of many germs. Rats ain't attracted to sweet smells no damn way. They like garbage and trash, stank. They come with a foul spirit. Rats do. Then I knew a sister who said her mother, before R. Kelly became famous, is a realtor, or was a realtor. And she rented R. Kelly an apartment. And he kept it nasty and funky. And he stank. His hygiene wasn't too great. Then you look at some of these young females who said that they were held hostage or they were under his spell or because of his music, like the Pied Piper, basically. They say his hygiene was foul. He stank. So it all goes together. He's a filthy, foul, stinking person. Then there is the fact or story, our Smelly himself said that he was raped or molested by women when he was a boy. So there's a little bit of something in him as an adult, a little bit of payback, I believe. And I believe he took it out on women. Now, when he peed on a 14-year-old, that really should have been in. But we just kept on playing R. Kelly. And to this day, many people defend R. Smelly. To this day, adults, male and female, make excuses for R. Kelly. Oh, man, he didn't do that, man. They're just trying to railroad him, man. They don't say nothing to the white boys. That's true. Woody Allen married a young 13-year-old or something, his stepdaughter or some crap. White folks ain't did nothing in Hollywood. But white folks own Hollywood. What you expect them to do? That's what they've been doing. You can't do it. And they're going to use you, folks like the Pied Piper, to be the face of child molestation, not them. Because that's what they want to do any damn way. Is change the face of who's really the molester in America and on this planet. Then you have Jerry Lewis, Mr. Telethon man who was always having them telethons about Jerry's kids, them little retarded, crippled crackers. He married some 13-year-old girl or something. But when Chuck Berry took pale faces over state line, or they came and got with him because he was sleeping off in his car, and they found that it was Chuck Berry, and they went and lay with Chuck Berry. When Chuck Berry got arrested, he was trying to tell his manager, Leonard Chess, look here, man, fix this. Jerry Lewis married a 13-year-old girl, but you arresting me. Yeah, because you got the skin tone that they need to blame their acts on. See, that's the thing indigenous men have not paid enough attention to. You gonna be the goddamn scapegoat. Look at Bill Cosby. You gonna be the scapegoat. And Bill Cosby was taken down by one of the ugliest creatures that called itself a woman. Ain't no damn way that biscuit face mashed in, face of like, somebody laid that motherfucker on the corner and let a semi truck run over it. 2 or 3 times, mashed it all in, big old swole, mashed up head, ugly as sin. You know, a terrible looking creature. And say that Bill Cosby raped it. Damn. Look at how your legacy ends up when you with them pale faces and you trust them pale faces. I mean, they took Bill out with the ugliest creature I think that walked the face of the earth. Damn, that's got to be number 2 or 3 out of all the pale face creatures that walked the earth. That thing is hideous. Bill, as they say, Bill was giving them quaaludes and shit. And they went back to him when he was, doing his comedy. And he was in his comedy talking about Spanish fly or quaaludes, getting bras high and screwing. Even though they was all in his face. Woo-hoo. Boy, the pale face will get you, won't it? They'll get you, won't it? Let's go to another video right quick. Share the screen. Like and share, family. Like and share.
R. Kelly is back in a New York City federal courtroom today as opening statements get underway in one of the criminal trials he faces. This case stems from years of allegations of sexual abuse. Kelly faces racketeering and other charges for an alleged plot involving illegal sexual activity with women and underage girls. Jerika Duncan is at the Brooklyn courthouse with details.
You know, Laura, some people will say this trial was years in the making. We've heard from numerous women who say they were abused by R. Kelly, but his legal team says there's another side to this story and that side will finally be heard starting today.
Remix to ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen.
R. Kelly's music topped the charts for decades, and at times he seemed unstoppable.
I believe I can fly.
The R&B star won 3 Grammys just a few years after he married then 15-year-old singer Aaliyah. At the time of their marriage, Kelly was 27. Then, in 2002, Kelly was charged with making a sex tape with a 14-year-old. A jury found him not guilty. 6 years later, Kelly continued to make more music and more money.
I feel like justice for me is just, it's just been about me being a silence breaker in this.
On the radio, I'm gonna hook you up. You don't have
Former radio DJ Kitty Jones says Kelly physically, emotionally, and sexually abused her when they dated back in 2011.
Was there a part of you that was afraid to say something?
Yeah, that's a part of it. I didn't fit the profile. People that knew me knew that I would never have been in a situation like that because I had so much going for me.
Jones was among a handful of women who described life under Kelly's control in the 2019 docuseries Surviving R. Kelly.
Being on punishment could be either you're not getting food or you took a beating.
People betray me, and I keep forgiving them.
That same year, Kelly sat down with Gayle King.
Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologize in those relationships. At the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not. And
4 months after that interview, Kelly was arrested for federal sex crimes in Chicago and New York. In July, the 54-year-old was transferred to Brooklyn, where he will now stand trial for allegedly running a criminal enterprise for 2 decades involving sex trafficking of women and underage girls. Kelly's legal team tells CBS News the enterprise is based on a series of independent relationships and events that the government is trying to patch together like different types of fabrics and trying to pass it off as silk. As for Jones, she says her focus is on the survivors.
My hope is just for everyone to get a peace of mind finally, process their hurts,
Kellz faces 10 years to life in prison if convicted on all charges in the New York case. Now, several women are expected to testify over the next month, which is how long this trial is expected to last. Laura?
Jerika, thank you. And joining me now to discuss this highly anticipated trial is CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman. Ricky, what can we expect from today's opening statements?
I think you're going to hear from the prosecution for approximately an hour and a half, and they are going to lay out a sordid tale with shocking acts of exploitation of women and young girls. They charged him with the most serious of crimes, which is a RICO violation, which means a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. And he's portrayed in simple English as the ringleader of a group of people, including his employees and enablers, who would get these women and young girls, bring them to him after sometimes he chose them at concerts and events. And these girls and women were then allegedly kidnapped. They were placed in apartments or where he lived. They were put in rooms. They had to wear baggy clothes. When they were not with him, they were not able to eat or go to the bathroom without his permission. So in this way, he's being charged with being a mastermind of exploitation and trafficking. So I expect a tale from the opening statement of the prosecutor to lay out each of the offenses, and it will really be something that will shock any person who is in that courtroom.
Yeah, shocking is right. Those allegations, something like a sex slavery camp that he was holding in his home. We know that this is not his first time in trouble with the law. He was acquitted of child pornography charges back in 2008. What is different about this trial, and who will testify now?
Well, the whole issue, Laura, as you just used the word, is testify. What happened in the first trial back at the acquittal of 2008 was that the victim herself and her parents did not testify. So they were in a position as prosecutors to try to prove a case without a victim. Here, that is not so. We expect a number of alleged victims to testify in this case over a period of weeks. And when you hear the words from the victims about what happened to them, that creates a very different atmosphere, to say the least. We also do have to remember that R. Kelly, as any defendant, is presumed innocent unless and until a verdict of guilty would come forth. And as Jerika mentioned in her piece before I came on with you, the R. Kelly lawyers claim to have a very viable defense that they say that the media has portrayed R. Kelly as being this monster, but that the facts about who he is and was and who these women were and are will happen in the courtroom. You know, we lawyers say that the great engine of truth is cross-examination. So whether the defense is giving us facts that we will see come alive in the courtroom, or whether it's just spin and bravado, that remains to be seen.
Let's talk a little bit about the people who are going to be determining R. Kelly's fate, the jurors. And what do we know about them? What do you think they're going to be hearing as testimony begins?
What we do know is that there are 7 men and 5 women. What we also know, which may be surprising to many, is that most of these jurors, if not all of these jurors, who were finally chosen in a 3-day process, someone might have thought with the person of R. Kelly's fame that the jury selection process would have taken 3 weeks rather than 3 days. But most of these people really didn't know much about R. Kelly, even as a musician, and they certainly knew little or nothing about these charges. So you have a jury that is fresh and new, and that may be a good thing.
Ricky, thank you so much for your analysis.
Thank you, Laura.
It's 3 a.m. What's going on?
So they don't know R. Kelly. The jurors don't know him, so they say. Who don't know I believe I can fly? I mean, who don't really know that? These little white gals, they've been playing R. Kelly, R. Smelly's music. Their damn parents know or done heard of R. Smelly. Don't play games. But this is the thing, when the pale face gives you an entertainer, now let's be clear on this. When they give you an entertainer, they can take them whenever they want to. You don't become an entertainer and get on that pale faced man's TV screen and be known all over the world and be touring all over the world. You don't do that unless they approve it. You see? They can make you, and when they get through with you, they're going to break you. They create your narratives. And let me tell you something else that they do very well. Pale faces will find those of us who have had bad experiences in our childhoods with our own people. Sexual experiences, molestation type experiences. And they'll use that because they know they can exploit that. They know it's a little bit of anger, maybe a lot of anger in these people because of what happened to them when they was children by, again, their own race. Yeah, white folks like that. They love that when you got a molestation story. Somebody in your family molested you, your daddy wasn't around, he beat your mama. Oh, hey, listen while you sing. Yeah, just keep singing, buddy. Yeah. What happened? Yeah, just keep singing. Just keep on singing, buddy. Yeah, they want you to keep on singing. They're going to put you all on the radio. They're going to let you be as raunchy as possible. You think they didn't know about what R. Kelly was doing? And this cracker got surveillance everywhere? He didn't know, they didn't know, they had no idea what he was doing. Stop playing. Pale faces watch every damn thing, especially when they're paying you millions of dollars to go out and sing for them. And you're a versatile singer like R. Kelly. You sing with all types of rappers and they can use you in different spots. Oh yeah, they damn sure watching you. Especially you so-called the king of R&B. They watch you. They know what the hell you doing. They enable you to do it. But when they want to bust you, then here come all the stories. Oh, we can't believe R. Kelly would do such a thing. When they the masters at all that same type of madness. Now that don't get him off the hook at all. We as a people need to use this R. Kelly thing in the molestation of children as a turning point. When men do these types of things and we confirm that, men need to be able to go out and physically handle that. Not even within 24 hours. You don't get to sleep after you done molested one of our daughters. It's up to us. And with the no snitch rule, I know you ain't got to tell the popo what you're doing. Again, when men like that go out here and touch our daughters or sons, and we confirm it, it shouldn't even take 24 hours. It shouldn't take nightfall. And if it happened in nightfall, The next nightfall, we should be to handle it by the next nightfall. Straight up, we should use this as a turning point. Because the fact is, it's a lot of punk-ass child molesters in our neighborhoods. So many women among us that were little girls were touched by trifling ass men. Some preachers, some be the father, some be the uncle, some be big brother, friend of the family, some be strangers. And it's an epidemic. It's a terrible situation, a terrible thing, if you ask me. I put the link in the chat. Let me put it in here again, just in case somebody wants to come and speak on this. I really would love to get some of these women in here and men in here and take up for our Smelly. They're still playing his records and all that. He don't get why he getting all this airplay? Why we still playing our Smelly's records? Well, I'm gonna still play his records. I ain't finna throw all my R. Kelly collection away. He made some good music. This is the madness that gets us caught up as a nation of people. These make things, that stuff like that, make things happen in the spirit realm against us. There's a spirit realm. And when you overlook what goes on with your children, like in abortions and then child molestations, the spirit realm is going to get to rumbling and ruffling in our communities. And that's why some of these deaths pop off among us. Because when situations happen to children that we know of, or these abortions that women know of, and some men know of, you think you can hide it, but on the spiritual and on the back end, it's gonna pop up in some kind of way, because you're gonna have to pay for that. Somebody got to pay for messing with these children. That's the way I see it. Now, some other people may say, nah, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You can kill all the babies you want. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You can molest all the children you want. Ain't nothing gonna happen. It's just, just something that occurs. It's just life. If you believe that, be bold enough to come on here. There is, in the chat, the link to the video. So you just click on the link. Let's talk about it. Anybody out there want to have something to say about our Smelly? I gave you a solution already to the problem. These type of people, if they was going to get handled physically and swiftly, they wouldn't be doing that. But because we turn a blind eye, especially when a man has a certain status, that falls back on us, though. When a man has a certain status, a lot of times we'll overlook their wrongdoings toward children. And you think they're all because they're children, no big deal. It's wickedness among us. Wickedness. Child molestation, I believe, has caused so many problems in our neighborhoods because those who get molested grow up with no healing. The church hasn't opened up any place for the molested to go. I've never seen a service dedicated in no church, no matter what denomination, toward children that have been molested, or even adults that were molested as children. There's been no healing services. I've never seen or heard of one. There's been plenty of revivals and, plenty of sleep-ins at the church. But I've never seen the topic be that they're going to discuss and deal with child molestation. And why is that? You can't go down to City Hall and deal with it, but that's politics. So where does the child that's been molested, where do they have to go? Where can they go to get healing, to start the healing process? If it happened just once. Many children, it happens to several times. Many children, it happens to over the course of years. And some wicked parents and adults will say, well, when they do find out, they blame it on the child. Or they say, well, you can't change the past and all this kind of craziness. They don't give a damn. Let's just be honest. A lot of us just don't give a damn about young children being molested. And if we did, we wouldn't be aborting so many of our babies. That's why we don't give a damn. When you can take and abort a child and some pale face convinces you, oh, well, the child isn't alive till this trimester or so many months. And you go for that? If the child ain't alive, how the hell you know you're pregnant? If it ain't alive, how the hell does a pregnancy test say you're pregnant? Pregnancy test ain't going to detect nothing. They're not going to detect a dead baby. So how the hell you know you ain't, how you going to say you're not pregnant or it's not a human until it gets to a certain amount of weeks? You let these pale-faced butchers tell you that? And you go along with that because you need some type of justification, some type of reasoning for what you're doing, somewhere to make you feel good as a mother. Yeah, so brother, your Jose Cruz says, yo, he touched little girls, and now we find out he touched little boys too. What a sicko. Yeah, it's been said now that our Smelly wasn't just touching girls, that he's a homo touching little boys too. Man, now it's all alleged. It ain't been so-called proven yet. So it's all alleged right now. And we have to say it was alleged. So we don't get in no type of issues. But with the way he said he was the Pied Piper of R&B, I don't think I really need too much more to be in total agreement that this nigga is guilty. If I'm wrong, I'll be glad to come back and say I was wrong. But I don't believe that. I'm wrong. I don't believe that. I want y'all to be honest and put a 1 in the chat if you're still playing R. Kelly music. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not. Be honest. And let's talk about it. Let me start off. I'm going to start off. I said a 2 if you're not. I stopped playing this music a long time ago. You can't piss on a 14-year-old. I don't care if they say you didn't do it, the video, people don't watch it. That was R. Kelly. That was R. Kelly. I never watched the video. But with his character and demeanor, I'm not gonna do it. We got two people that's still playing his music. So would you like to come on and talk about why you're still playing R. Kelly's music? Do you not believe the stories? Do you not believe that the Pied Piper story, how him picking that story or picking that person to emulate, you leave that person's spirit to get into him? I don't want you to come on, if you would, and talk about it. Why do you still play R. Kelly's music? If you don't want to come on, type it in the comment section. Type in the comment section why you still playing R. Kelly's music. I'm glad you're honest. But type in the comment section of why you still play R. Kelly's music. Come on now. Type in the comment section why you still playing R. Kelly's music. Just one song here that you like. Okay. Well, you that one song, do you feel like that one song puts you in support of R. Kelly and what he doing? Or no? The world's greatest. Okay. Yep. Nice song. But do you feel like you can detach yourself from R. Kelly and what he done or what it's alleged that he done and still play any of his music? Valerie Green, you say you still listen to Michael Jackson music. Okay. But I'm talking about R. Kelly. You still got the CDs too. This is what I'm talking about. I look at it like you don't give a damn about what he done. Period. Or you don't believe he done it. Now, if you don't believe he done it, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe he done it, put a 2 in the chat. If you believe he done it, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe he didn't do it, put a 2 in the chat. AIX don't believe he done it. Tanya Bailey, you don't believe he done it either. M. Gosha, you don't believe he done it either. My brother Jose Cruz say 1111. Okay, y'all misunderstood. I'm gonna say it again. If you believe he done it, put a 1. Okay, okay. I see them 2s is changing to 1s. Right. Now Aquarius baby, okay. Well, if you don't believe he done it, I understand why you still play his music. It makes sense. So I really can't, say too much to you after that. You don't believe it. Okay. Me myself, I believe he done it. At least some of it. I heard the man in the record say, I wanna toss your salad. I said, what the? So you wanna lick booty and put it in a record? Yeah, that freakism stuff. Licking anuses. If you licking somebody's anus, you what won't you do? You know what I'm saying? When does the freakism really stop? Where are the barriers and boundaries here? Okay, now Aquarius baby, you say you do believe he done it. Okay, so if you believe he done it, then why you play his music? If you believe he done it, you believe he pissed on. Who believes he peed on the 14-year-old girl? If you believe R. Kelly peed on that 14-year-old girl, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't believe he peed on a 14-year-old girl, put a 2 in the chat. One in the chat if you believe he did pee on the 14-year-old. 2 in the chat if you don't. I got 1, 2 1s rather. My brother Jose Cruz said we all saw the video. I mean, and there it is, right? He peed on the 14-year-old. Chosen one, you say you believe he did. Okay. You also said you play that one song you like of his. But he peed on a 14-year-old, so it's the song. That's what I'm saying. If you believe he done that, why would you attach yourself to a man that peed on a 14-year-old girl? No matter how good the song is. But see, the thing, I guess it's the charming of the Pied Piper. See, the Pied Piper story is about a musician that was damn near a magician in his music. I don't listen to it because the lyric, his voice and his chords. I play music. As you can see, I got a guitar right over here. I play music. I know chords. And the chords he plays, they will get to you if you like music. Yeah, they will get to you if you like music. If I hear somebody playing some R. Kelly somewhere, if I don't watch myself, I'm singing it. I have to stop myself even to this day. But I chose to make that choice. To say, I don't want him in my spirit at all. Because I believe he pissed on a 14-year-old girl. That's it for me. That was enough. You pissed on a 14-year-old girl, Negro, and videoed it. Bro, you out of pocket. You need to be dealt with physically. Flat out. You get no play over here. Maybe that's just me though. You separate the music from him, and it's just certain songs, Aquarius Baby says. Well, that's like saying you can separate rape from a rapist. How do you do that? I'm gonna separate rape from the rapist and still deal with the rapist. I'm just gonna separate that person that raped from the rapist, being from the act of rape. I'm gonna separate that because I like this person. How do you separate the crime from the person that done the crime? How do you separate the crime from one that done the crime? It's like if somebody was to kill a close relative of yours, can you separate the murderer from the murderer? How do you do that? How do you separate the crime from the one who committed the crime? If that person hadn't committed the crime, there would be no crime to even talk about. So how do you separate the crime from the person that committed it? Brother Jose said he don't understand why the video was done in the 90s, and now that the pale face is crucifying him. Why? Well, that's one of the things. That's not the only reason they putting the screws in his back. That's one thing. They've been building a case against him. So that's not the sole thing, Brother Jose and Aquarius baby. That's not the whole thing. That's a part of it. If you notice, they had a young female on there talking about how they were a victim of his slave house, sex slave house or what have you. And they brought up the pissing. And then when they brought it up, they said he was acquitted of it. So they didn't really go after him on it because he was acquitted of it. They really can't. They just brought it up because it adds to or gives what's going on right now a little weight. It just shows the character of a person that would have a sex slave house. That's why they're doing that. They're not going after him because of that, though, but that would be double jeopardy. He got acquitted before they're not trying to get him on that right now. They're gonna add it though or use it because it's part of his court cases. Yeah, our brother AIX said, love that song Back in the Hands of Time, but I still had to let him go with that nonsense. Let me tell you one of my favorite. Happy People. Man, when he came out with that song, boy, it made me feel so good. I was happy for real. Listen to Happy People. But I had to let it go. After I really sat down and thought about him pissing on a 14-year-old girl. How could I be one to be or say I'm a man of righteousness and I want the best for my people, not just my children, but our children. And I overlooked the fact that, yeah, he may have the people not love it, but he pissed on a 14-year-old. I had to wait or two. And again, I play music, so I know how you can mesmerize people with chords, with music. Chords, they say, you play chords in music. Well, there are chords you can wrap people up with in the physical sense. Well, there are chords on this guitar that you can take and wrap people up as well in the spiritual sense. You get it? You got chords on the piano. You got chords, and a chord is two or more notes put together to make a melodic sound. You see, and when you play the chords and they harmonize, and you play the right chords at the right time to a drum beat, you can mesmerize the listener. And see, this is why pale-faced Jewish demons who have no musical talent are always in our faces, because we have a way of putting chords together that can mesmerize people, that can make you get up out of your seat and dance. That's what they call music therapy. You can take music and go into a nursing home, and people who never move hardly at all, if they're not really doped up, they'll get to move, and what they can still move. Music therapy can heal people from ailments. If they played music in the hospitals, and let it blare through the speakers, certain calming music, it would have a healing effect on the people. They even have stations on the internet that you can go to and type in that'll play all night, and it's ocean music. It's raindrops and nature, and it'll put you to sleep. It'll calm you down. They know the power of music. And this is why they will allow someone who has been hurt by their family when they were children, and they are race. If they have musical talent and really good musical talent that they can market, they're going to give you the microphone. They're going to put you on the radio all day long. They're going to give you so much clout in the record business. You get to say who can sometimes and who cannot come on. For real. Music is no joke. They say that music and numbers are the number 1 and 2 way for the angelic beings that you cannot see to communicate with us. That's why they call some musicians superstars. They put them way out there. That's why Michael Jackson over them pale faces had an effect, or whoever that light-skinned preacher was that we call Michael Jackson. This preacher had a serious effect on pale faces. They will fall out all over the damn place. I don't get it, because Dirty Diana didn't never do a damn thing for me. You know, it don't matter if you're black or white, didn't do nothing for me. You know, that light-skinned Michael Jackson preacher didn't do a damn thing for me. I don't know what that was or who the hell it was. But the off-the-wall Michael Jackson and the Thriller Michael Jackson, that was the end of Michael Jackson for me. Thriller album, after that, it wasn't no more soul in the music. Remember the time was Catalyst Soul, and, you know, but you know, the light-skinned dude just wasn't, no, he just couldn't do nothing for me. But then there's certain people who they say have an anointing on their voice, meaning when they sing, they have a feeling that comes from them, and you can feel it. Other people can feel it. And they use that in, you know, of course, in the industry. They use that in the industry. AIX, they probably maxed out on how much money they could make from him and decide now to take him down. That's what they do all the time. Pale faces are gamblers. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You better count your money. You're sitting at the table. You better pay attention to the lyrics. You better pay attention to the lyrics. Again, chords, 2, 3, 4, 5 melodic notes put together to bring about an effect in the listener. And instrumental music sometimes is totally different than when somebody comes and put lyrics on a song. When it's instrumental, you, the person, get to feel how you want to feel and go where you want to go when the song is playing. But if there's lyrics on it, you got to stay in that vein with whatever the lyrics say. Palefaces know all this. Why you think music is playing when you go in the store during Christmas time? Why you think they're playing Christmas carols in the stores for no reason? Why you think A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Why you think they made a melody to that song? So children will remember. And we being 45, 50 can still say the ABCs. Then the melodic sound of I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic on which it stands, even if ain't no music in it. The melodic cadence to the way you say it can be memorized into your old age. These devils know how to take music and cadence, which is words with no music, like in the military, and mesmerize you. Like in the military, there's cadence that you sing when you're running or marching. Now, there ain't no music out there, it's just your feet and you clapping. Your feet hitting the pavement and you clapping and singing them cadence. How many times you been to school and played musical chairs? How many times have we been to school and played musical chairs? And just about every student loves musical chairs. How many times have we been to school at a school dance? And when your favorite song comes on, you feel this urge, you got to get up and dance. Music has been very important in my life. But there is a character to the musician, to the musicians, to the band. There is a character that goes with the people that's singing. And when the character is dirty and foul, then I don't want no parts of the music, because that character is going to end up in me. Because you can't separate the character from the music. You can try, but you really can't. Because the character is on the lyrics. It's recorded on the song. That's why they had these machines in the music industry where you can play it back and you hear totally different things. Because the character of the singer is with the BS. Get what I'm saying? They wouldn't even made those types of machines to record somebody back or record backwards if they knew they couldn't catch the demonic energy in the person. Music, very important to controlling people's thought processes, making you move in a certain direction. When I move, you move, just like that. When I move, you move, just like that. Music, very important in our lives. You can have children that just are fussing, little children, fussing, they just can't stop fussing, don't want to sleep, just irritated. And if you put on the right music, before you know it, they went to sleep. Backmasking, right, brother? These folks have mastered music. That's why so many musicians get taken off the scene in some of the most craziest ways. That's why they look like they're clone musicians. Like, I mean, this music industry, you get people that's in the industry that come and tell you how evil the industry is. So they're not just talking. They talk about the rituals, the witchcraft that's put over some albums before they're put out into the public. And these artists are co-signing the witchcraft going on their records because they want to be famous. Now, R. Kelly had good lyrics, great chords, and a good voice, and all mixed together in his style of singing. And he made a lot of records. Music is all throughout R. Kelly. Imagine how detrimental he could be if he had a bad spirit. But imagine on the other end how wonderful he would be to us if he had a positive spirit. And then ask yourself, do the industry of these pale-faced oppressive devils want us to have musicians that's on the radio that have a positive spirit or a negative spirit? If you think that the record executives, them Jews that run the music industry, want us to have musicians that have good, wholesome characters, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe that the record execs want musicians that have a bad character, put a 2 in the chat. Jose Cruz. Jose Cruz, you trip. But that's the truth though. You got to play with Diddy if you want to get on. See, y'all put all them 2s in the chat. So, you know this industry puts out individuals that have a bad character somewhere. Look at Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe got good music, interesting music, different type of music, great voice, different type of lyrics, very catchy songs, upbeat, but came out and said, I'm a pansexual. I just screw anything, male, female, old, young, pansexual, sometimes screw animals. That's a bad spirit. But the music is nice. But the music is nice. Jay-Z, or Gay-Z, got with Marina Abramovich. Now, Marina Abramovich is a spirit cooker. Cooks folks in their own blood, puts on the ritual, at least. Cooking people in their own blood, a high sorceress. I believe that Marina Abramovich, I ain't gonna even show no videos or pictures because they might flag it. But you go look up Marina Abramovich if you haven't already seen this creature. And I believe it's a big ass transgender demon on the masses. But Jay-Z or Gay-Z, right there with it, putting forehead to forehead in some room, dancing with this beast full of a bunch of pale faces. Weird ritual, but they was doing it. Then there's a picture of their hair being tied together in the back. I guess they transferring thought processes, becoming one mentally. I don't know what the hell that's about, but there's a reason. Right. Do what thou wilt, Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley is the father of sex magic with a K. Of course, the A-list artists are going to have to do some sex magic with a K. So, of course, R. Kelly, being the king of R&B, would have to do some sex magic with a K, because he's part of the do what thou wilt energy, just like Gay-Z or Jay-Z. The music industry has been used to destroy us, especially in this day and age. It's rap all day, and the rappers are not putting us together. If the music, think about this, as a musician, I know if the music isn't putting you together, if it's not making male and female come together in respectable family settings, then it's not beneficial to your community progress. It's not. Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, how the hell are they positive and beneficial to a community that I guess wants to move in a positive direction? How can they be positive? They're not. How can the city girls be positive? The shitty girl, the shitty city girls, how could they be positive in elevating us in the proper direction musically for our communities to come together? How? They're not. And they don't give a damn. How could Lil Nas X be positive? How? How could Lil Nas X be positive and pushing us and our children in the right direction? I'm thankful I play music because I can make my own. And there is no Jewish influence on it. There's no homosexual vibrations on it. There are no wicked rituals, no pale faces involved at all. I'm very thankful for that gift to be able to play. Love Lost and Found by ACZ is a positive rap, hip hop, R&B album that talks positively on love. Now see, that's the only type of music that you need to listen to if you want to elevate and go higher in the spiritual realm and come closer to the people that look like you. But if the music that you listening to got you cussing out the people that look like you, bitch, what's bitch, hoe, if it's got you doing that, then it's not beneficial towards you moving up. Now we got to figure out what we want to do, where we want to go with music. Because you can't say music is not important in all of our lives. It is. So what do we want to do? Do we want to elevate or do we want to stay down in the lower chakras? Just talking about sex, taking your girl, screwing all the girls I can find, drugs, shooting folks. You know, I mean, you want to stay there, that's what you're going to do. Isn't it interesting how the music that's being played in any era emulates or goes right along with the lifestyle the people are living? The musical influence is very important in any era. Yeah, time to create positive music and only listen to positive music for a positive effect. If you want to be positive in your community, you need positivity to do that. Yeah, that WAP AIX, that WAP, one of the worst records I ever heard in my life. WAP, wet ass, you know the rest. Just about every woman in the world got one of them. What the hell was the purpose but to have you raunchy? Yeah, the music of the day is very irritating. Very irritating. Oh my goodness, man. Family, I want y'all to talk. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Come on here and say something. I'm about to share the link one more time. You can come into the video and add some content. I don't know how many more things I can say toward music and toward artists and toward their character. You see, again, R. Kelly's character is heard in the music. Don't leave your girl around me, I'm a flirt. What the? Don't leave your girl around me, I'm a flirt. What the hell does that mean? I mean, why do I want to have any type of dealings with a dude I can't leave my woman around? They're telling stories in these songs. He letting you know he's a dirty, grimy Negro. I don't like dirty, grimy men. You can leave your woman in my presence. I'm not finna be up in her damn ear. I don't care how beautiful she is or what have you. So what? I don't get off on trying to be, the dude that can get any man, woman that I want. What? For what? Sometimes you end up dead like that. If the right person catch you messing with that woman or flirting, you can get your damn head busted. You gonna get shot. You can get stabbed. Or better yet, your girl gonna get taken eventually. Yeah, he did that, brother Jose Cruz with Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number. That was a song he made for Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number. He married Aaliyah when he was 27. That's another part of his character. He was 27. She was 15. He tricked her, took her somewhere, married her, and then when she came back, she was never the same because something happened to her when she was away with him. So age ain't nothing but a number when you got a sick ass mind. I used to love Keith Sweat, but Keith Sweat made a song with some lyrics. You may be young, but you're ready. How young was he talking about? He didn't get checked for that either. You're not a little girl, you're a woman. Wait a minute now. Was it really a little girl or was it really a woman? Keith Sweat now, on his album back in 80, 87, 88, something like that. 87, I think. Keith Sweat's album that was banging would Make It Last Forever on it. He got one in there, You May Be Young, But You're Ready. You're not a little girl, you're a woman. Mirage music, I agree. Independent is the way to go. And that's what I did with my music. I went independent. And therefore, I don't have to get up and go do a concert when I don't feel like it. Music to me is about feeling. And if you're not feeling well, you've had some issues in the family or something going on in your life, and you can't give your people the best, you shouldn't be singing. But this is why people in the industry have to go out and still do concerts and then get on all types of drugs to overlook or to help them get past the feelings that they're experiencing in life at that time. It's an ugly business when you got to sing on cue, when you got to sing when the pale face says so. Ugly business. 1988, okay, right. 1988, Keith Sweat's Make It Last Forever album. You may be young, but you're ready. You're not a little girl, you're a woman. Was it really a woman or was it really a little girl? And then I hear that, you know, I know from being in high school, you got cats 35, 40 that be waiting on 16, 17, 18-year-old girls lurking at the high school. It's a sick society, and men do it because no other men are busting their damn heads open. Men do this because other men ain't busting their head open. See, if their head was cracked to the white meat and their thoughts spilled out on the damn concrete, you wouldn't have that. That would end quickly. So it's a blow to the men in the neighborhood when you got punk ass men that's 35 and 40 waiting on high school girls that's 16, 17. And what the man, please. Black men look horrible. We have truly failed in that area. You're touching on little girls, you're touching little boys, your ass is wicked, and you need to be dealt with physically. I don't care what white folks do to their own goddamn kids and their own daughters and sons. But when brothers is doing it, it should be brothers that's able to go out here and handle it quickly, swiftly. But it's so many that's willing to turn a blind eye. Well, she legal. Well, she legal, right? She's 18, she legal. Well, you know. No goddamn morals. Yeah. Make It Last Forever. You was 17. I think I was 16 when that came out. Well, the price is being paid right now, Valerie, because there is the mark of the beast here on the scene right now, and many of these entertainers is telling folks to go get the jab. I don't think they're giving them the jab. I think they're giving them placebos. I really do. But I don't know. I think they're giving them placebos, some of them. But if I can't really say too much, because they'll take my video down and say it's medical misinformation. You know what I'm saying? It was really crazy. Artists are being used right now to push what I say in my own spirit and what the Bible points to as looking like the mark of the beast. They pushing it. Many artists are. So now we've listened to these people. We've listened to them. We went to concerts. We supported them for years. And now they are pushing this shot on us. To me, they're showing it never was for us in the first place. Anyway, family, I done went over the 5 minutes. And nobody's going to come on and say anything. But I do appreciate you all for being on the show tonight. I hope I've said something that makes sense to you. And you can use it in your everyday life. Thank you, Brother Jose Cruz. And you're right, Valerie, the music is evil because the people that are putting the music out are evil first off. And those who come and lay down the music, the artists, have evil streaks as well. So it mixes and it turns into an evil product. That's just the way it is. Let me give you one of my songs on the way out, family. Here's one of my songs called Find Some Peace. I'm going to let this play out before I end the show. I just want to find some peace, a place with no misery, in a land meant for you and me. My foot can't find no ease. Oh, the air that I breathe, that I breathe, that I breathe, that I breathe. This place is trying to kill me. Thank you, Mirage Music, but that's my brother guitar teacher playing that music right there. That's just me singing. Every day, same old thing. Brothers on the corner begging for some change. This life has got to be rearranged. Tell me what's going on, who can explain? My foot can't find no ease. Oh, the air that I breathe, that I breathe, that I breathe, that I breathe. They're trying to kill me. I just wanna find some peace. Got to pack my bags and go. Thank you, Valerie. Just can't stay here no more. I'm leaving it all behind. This place and peace I just can't find. Thank you, Mirage Music. My foot can't find. Thank you, JW. I sell my music too. Anybody interested? This place is trying to kill me. Just wanna find. I got to find some peace. Thank you, Jose. I gotta find some peace. I wanna rest my weary head. Sometimes I feel like walking. Oh, get over line. Oh, this ghetto line. Oh, this ghetto line. Just wanna find some ease. Just a little piece. You buy it from me, sis. Hit the cash out. I got a whole collection you can have. I got over 40 songs, originals, my own music, instrumentals and all. Me singing on some of them and some instrumentals. If you're interested and you want the collection, that's about 5 CDs worth of songs. That's $25 in the cash app. So you paying like 50 cents a song. You can't beat that. $5 for shipping and handling, $20 for the music itself. And I'll be glad to send it off to you. I just mailed off a couple of packets yesterday. I think it was Friday, yeah. I just mailed off some Friday. One person got their package today. So if you're interested, you get it from me. And my cash app is in there, but I'm going to share it one more time before I go tonight. And I want to thank all of you all for being with me this long. Could have been anywhere else doing anything. But yes, you decided to come and spend a little time and let Brother Dawa speak. So again, there is my cash app, Valerie. If you want the music, you can get that song and about 40 plus others. And I'm pretty sure if you like that one, you'll like a lot of the rest of it too. So I do appreciate you all. You can get it through PayPal. Or you can, you have a PayPal, Jose? If you got a PayPal, Jose, let me know before I get off. And I can share my PayPal right quick. But if not, there's always a way. You know what? Here, I tell you what I'm gonna do. Here's my phone number. Make it real easy. You all can text me. Okay, that's fine. Here is my phone number. You want music? Text me, and I'm gonna call you. And we can set up how we can do this. If you want music, you can send it a money order. I take money orders in the mail. That's fine. I'm not tripping. I'm old school anyway, so I still deal with money orders. As long as these devils ain't snatching close up all the banks and I can go to the bank and cash it, that's fine with me. And I'm just thankful that my people are now getting hold of my music. I made this music in 09, 08, 09, somewhere around there. Between 09 and 2011, I made about 4 or 5 albums. And now my people are finally getting a chance to hear it, and they're liking it and they are supporting me with it. And I'm very appreciative. It makes me very happy to be able to send off my own music to my people as an independent artist and they enjoy. So I thank you all. I care deeply for you. I wouldn't even get up here and waste my time. Waste your time, that is. Bringing forth any type of shows to you. I catch hell from YouTube trying to put these shows out. The last 2 videos I did, they deleted. The one I did on COVID, they said it was medical misinformation. And then another one I did, I was talking about some, I forgot what it was. And they said that they said that they had to protect the children. They think my video went against the child protection policy. I mean, just madness. You don't trust online banking, but I'll mail you a money order. That's fine. Okay, I'll be buying it. I appreciate you all, and it still jams, and this still jams. A good measure of how good the music is, how it can stand the test of time, timeless. Exactly. See, the music that I've been able to make, you can play 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now, and it sounds like it was just created. I've been able to meet one of the greatest guitar players I know that was stayed underground and didn't allow the music industry to take him off. And that's who you hear playing my music. I would go into the studio and this brother would have a track based off him listening to my voice. And I would listen to the track and I say, yeah, I can do something with that. And I would write the lyrics. Most of the lyrics I wrote for these songs, whether you believe it or not, I wrote the lyrics in 10 minutes. And then went in the studio and sang the song, and he always liked to go first take. A lot of these songs are first take songs. I'm just thankful for the gift of music. So, and I'm glad that my people can enjoy my own. So thank you again tonight for listening to your brother. Hopefully they'll let the video stay up. Y'all hit my line. Even if you ain't buying music, just hit my line and we can talk outside of this here online thing. It's cool with me. I'm happy to be able to talk with people. outside of being online. All right, much love to you, family. Till you see my face again, may the Most High take care of you and yours. Brother man, get you a sister. Sister, get you a brother. Drop the other, both of you. Peace.